Hey y'all, what's up? My name is Quentin and I'm a trainer and fitness program manager at our Crystal City, Rockville, and Columbia locations. Now today we're going to go over a quick little mobility clinic on how to develop strong ankles, how to make sure your ankles are well stabilized and functional. Now during this time, a lot of us may be a little more stationary and a little less active than we normally are. Regardless, it's important to make sure that we have healthy, strong ankles for when we do get back into our normal sports. Now, you may also be wondering, why ankles? Like, what is the importance of ankles? Well, ankles help lay the foundation, help ground us in regards to any movements that we're going to do on the field, on the wall. Obviously, feet and ankles are very important in a sport like soccer or if you're running every day, but they're also very, very important if you're on the climbing wall as well. If you don't have the correct movement, correct mobility through your ankles, you're going to compensate in other areas of your body. It might be your hips, it might even be your knees, and that might end up in you pushing your hips off the wall. It might end up in you falling off the red point you're attempting. Or if you're just trying to step on a pretty small foothold and you don't have stability in your ankles, that foothold is not going to feel too great for you. So, the way this video is going to roll is we're going to start off with 3 very, very important warm-ups to make sure that your feet, that your ankles are primed for any kind of conditioning you're going to do. And then we're going to move into 3 essential exercises that are going to help give you strong, functional, and stabilized ankles. Let's get into it. First off, before we move into anything too intensive in regards to ankle exercises, the first thing I like to do is make sure my feet and my ankles are nice and warm. I'm going to do this by a little myofascial release with either a lacrosse ball, which is my personal favorite, foam roller, even a can of soup will work. Goal here is just to get the tissue nice and warm, make sure things are good to go. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put my foot directly on the lacrosse ball and I'm just going to do some small clockwise circles. Now I don't want to put too much pressure on this ball, so that's just going to cause me a lot of pain. It's also going to cause a bit of inflammation as well. I'm just going to put a good bit of pressure on it, not really driving my foot into it, but making sure it is starting to soften things and get the blood flowing. I'm gonna do this for about 30 seconds per side. And like I said, if you don't have a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball, you can honestly just use a can of soup you have at home. I'm gonna use this can of garbanzo beans. One thing to keep in mind is while we are rolling out our foot, we do want to stay in between the front of our foot, right where the knuckles are, and the heel itself. And I'm just going to go back and forth here with my can of garbanzo beans for about 30 seconds. I feel like I'm really sponsoring garbanzo beans right now. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So, after that 30 seconds, your ankles should be feeling a little bit warmer, your feet should be feeling a little bit warmer. You should feel like, oh, I can move a little bit better. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to get into a nice lunge position. We're going to start off with our knee being directly above our ankle. And all we're going to do here is we're just going to move our knee toward the front of our foot. Now once again, we don't want to drive our knee as far forward as we can, trying to get to our end range. We're just trying to get a good bit of pressure, get a good stretch going in our Achilles, going in the base of our calf here. And I'm just going to go for about 30 seconds. Making sure that I also keep my heel on the ground and I keep the ball of my foot on the ground as well. Gonna rock forward and back. Awesome. About 30 seconds in, I'm once again going to switch legs. And same thing applies. I want to make sure I'm keeping my heel on the ground. I want to make sure that I'm keeping the ball of my foot on the ground as well. Gonna rock forward, come back. Gonna rock forward, come back. Once again, make sure that heel does not lift up into the air at all while we're rocking forward. Rock forward, and come on back. Awesome. Now, the last exercise in our warm-up is pretty straightforward. We're just going to do some calf raises here. So for these calf raises, all I want you to do is match feet, and we're just going to come up to our toes, and we're going to come right back down. Come up to our toes, and all the way down to our heels. Now one thing to keep in mind while you're doing this is you don't want to just collapse down to your heels. You want to make sure it's nice and controlled all the way down, up to the toes, coming down to the heels, up to the toes, coming down to the heels. Now you're finding that you're a little off balance and you need some additional support. Feel free to grab whatever is by your side. It can be a chair, it can be a couch, or you can even come to a staggered position here. Coming up to the toes, down to the heels, up to the toes, down to the heels, up to the toes, down to the heels. Now I'm going to do this for about 30 seconds if I'm matching feet, or about 15 seconds if I'm in that staggered stance. Awesome. So that's going to be our quick warm-up. Next, we're going to move into 3 essential exercises. Now, in these exercises, we're going to be focusing on 3 various actions of the foot and the ankle. We're going to be focusing on plantar flexion, the ability for your heel to rise up in the air. We're going to be focusing on creating a nice healthy arch in your foot, making sure that we can squeeze those smaller muscles, maintain a healthy position. And we're going to focus on inversions and eversions, the ability for the foot to turn in and turn out. Let's first start off with that plantar flexion. So we're going to come back to a standing position. And basically we're going to do a modified version of the calf raises that we were doing in our warm-up. All we're going to do now is we're going to rise up to our toes. And as our heels lower, they're not yet going to touch the ground. They're going to hover right above the ground, holding tension in our calves, holding tension in our feet, coming back up to the toes, and dropping the heels, but not all the way. Up to the toes, dropping the heels just so they're hovering, up to the toes, and right back down. If you find that the 2-leg variation is too easy for you, you can always just come to a single leg stance. Up to the toes, right back down, up to the toes, right back down, up to the toes, right back down. If I'm doing that single leg stance, I'm doing anywhere from 10 to 15. If I'm doing the double leg version, I'm doing anywhere from 20 to 25. And I'm going to do this for about 2 sets. Next up, we're going to move into creating a healthy arch with our foot. For this, all you really need is a dish towel, any kind of towel you have at home, and you're just going to lay that on the ground. And starting off, we're going to place our heel firmly on the ground in front of us, and we're going to get the ball of our foot on the towel. And all we're aiming to do here is extend our toes. We're going to pull in with our toes. Extend our toes, we're going to pull in with the toes. The idea here is that you should be creating a nice healthy arch in your foot as you pull your toes in and as you pull the towel further in as well. Extend with the toes, pull in, extend with the toes, pull in, extend with the toes, pull in. Now we're going to go for about 30 seconds or the entire length of the towel, whichever comes first. Extend with the toes, pull in, extend with the toes, pull in. After 30 seconds is done, or you've reached the end of the towel, you want to splay that towel back out. You're going to move on to your other foot. Now you may notice that one foot has a bit better motor control than the other foot. That's perfectly normal. I'm right side dominant, so my left side isn't going to be quite up to par. Same thing is important though. Make sure that heel stays on the ground. Going to extend with the toes, going to pull in, going to extend with the toes, going to pull in, extend with the toes, pull in. Now with your non-dominant side, you may not be able to pull as much as you normally would, totally fine. Just making sure you're getting a little bit of something here. Extend with the toes, pull in, extend with the toes, pull in, extend with the toes, pull in. And once again, going for about 30 seconds or the entire length of the towel. Now, if you find that you want a little bit more of a challenge with that exercise, you have some pretty strong feet, you're going to splay that towel out there and you're going to grab your can of beans. I typically like to use a hydro flask, fill it with as much water as I want. And that's going to be my additional resistance. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to place my foot down, I'm going to pull with my toes, extend out, pull, extend out, pull, extend out, pull. Awesome. Let's move into our last exercise here. So we're going to move the towel to a more horizontal position. This time we're going to work on some inversions and eversions with our foot. So same thing, we're going to keep our heel planted down on the ground, trying to keep all the movement in our ankle itself. And we're going to put the ball of our foot on the towel. Now if I'm starting with my right leg, I'm going to put the inside part of my foot down onto the towel and that alone. So this is right where my big toe is. The rest of my foot is kind of flared up into the air. Now the idea here is you want to keep our knee nice and still, and we're just going to rotate through the foot. So starting with the big toe side, I'm sweeping through to my pinky side. Big toe side, sweeping through to the pinky side. Now you may need to put both hands on your knees so that it stays still. Your legs may be tempted to kind of move around because your hip wants to assist with your ankle. Make sure that knee is staying nice and still. Swooping in, big toe down, swooping into the pinky, big toe down, swooping into the pinky. And then I'm just gonna split it out again and do the same thing with my left side. Going to put my big toe down, and I'm going to swoop in with my pinky. Left side definitely needs a little more control here, so I'm really grabbing my knee, swooping in to the pinky, big toe down, swooping into the pinky, big toe down, swooping in to the pinky. Awesome. Once again, going to do this for the entire length of the towel, or about 30 seconds, whichever comes first. Awesome, y'all. So those are going to be my big 3 exercises for you in regards to proper foot health and proper ankle health. We want to make sure that we're trying to keep things up to par just for when we do get back out to our sports, and so we're ready to go. Once again, my name is Quentin. I am a trainer and fitness program manager at our EarthTrex, Rockville, Crystal City, and Columbia locations. Stay tuned for more of these videos that will be rolling out periodically on various parts of the body, be it shoulder health, hip health, elbows. Going to keep them rolling for you. Thank you for joining me.